we've started to roughly identify projects into the future, especially over that 15-year period. And next slide, please. These are some of the example projects that are just a very small sampling of what we are hoping to be able to accomplish. The first set of them in Coyote Valley, so re-oaking of Tulare Meadows, so restoring that to more natural habitat for wildlife connectivity purposes. Laguna Seca dam removal that was mentioned earlier this evening. The alignment of Fisher Creek, wildlife connectivity infrastructure, wetland and riparian restoration, public access projects with trails and staging areas. So are really rough numbers for those projects. And this is just our share. There are going to be other sources that are going to be needed for this too, but over $60 million for this list of example projects in Coyote Valley, as well as the other areas that are mentioned there. These are just a sampling of projects. You know, overall for Coyote Valley master planning over that time period, we can foresee easily over $130 million worth of project demand. That goes beyond these sample projects that are mentioned here. So clearly a lot of need that we've already identified, even though these projects haven't been scoped yet. So just wanted to give you a little more flavor of the kinds of things that revenue stream is needed for. Andrea, is there anything you want to add?
I guess the only other thing I'd add is you're getting used to now, we're going to be coming back to you every board meeting with updates on the progress we're making on the feasibility research. And we'll probably have getting closer to defining the rate that would be recommended to your board and key provisions when we come back to you in August. But we're still in the midst of a lot of conversations out there with potential stakeholders.
All right, so with that, back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I appreciate the update, Mark. Any questions? Well, no? Yeah, it must be contagious. We're all gelling up. Okay, thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. I think the examples will help a lot. Yay. All right. We're gonna move on to.
Do we want to take public comment?
Yes, is there any public comment?
If there are any members of the public who are joining us via Zoom who would like to comment on this item, please raise your hand. There are none.
Okay. All right. We will move on to committee meeting summaries, land use and stewardship committee.
You met this afternoon and got a very thorough briefing on the plan for Coyote Valley and the Founders Project, and it is pretty well planned out, but still a ways to go. And I guess we're going to hear more about it in not so much in August, but probably in the September meeting. They figured the staff will come back more specifics. Have I missed anything on that? We talked about, we got a little bit of minutia, for instance, the width of the trails is concerned because in the case of the motorized wheelchairs, they take room, and not only the room, because people would like to walk next to them. So we probably need more of a 6-foot wide trail for this specific area. Little stuff like that. It's well planned. And hopefully it moves forward. The question, of course, was regarding the $800,000, whether it's really going to happen or not, and what if it doesn't, etc. But that's slide in the fast lane. So, any comments from either one of you?
I think they also said it's gonna go to the CAC on Monday, so they'll be able to see. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be thoroughly vetted, needless to say. It's a good plan.
Thank you very much. All right, informational report. Wait, was there any public comment?
If there are any members of the public who would like to comment on the committee meeting summaries, please raise your hand. There are none.
Okay. Okay, informational report, general manager.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few items. As most of you know, I just returned from vacation in Kenya, touring land conservancies who are doing really innovative work, especially around community-based conservation with tribal peoples, protecting phenomenal wildlife and wildlife movement corridors, working very well with local communities, giving back to communities. Anyway, great to compare what we're doing in the US and California versus what's being done there, and lots of food for thought. Secondly, we just were notified that the EIR for the LS Power Energy Transmission Project has now been released. And OSA will both be providing testimony when that comes and submitting a comment letter. The EIR from the California Public Utilities Commission still cites the proposed terminal at the original project site in Coyote Valley on the east side of Monterey Road. However, the environmentally preferred alternative is to co-locate with PG&E at the Metcalf substation. And both LS Power, the project proponent, and PG&E are supportive of this co-location. We'll continue to work with them and stay on top of this project through the review with the CPUC. Thirdly, the Open Space Authority and Mid-Penn teamed up to help the Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action with a first ever climate academy that was held on July 17th. We did a classroom module on the importance of natural lands and nature services to combating climate change. And I want to thank Jackie McBride, Kat Hill, and Mel Sarmento for their work on this. And then continuing, the OSA is a co-sponsor of Youth Climate Action's Climate Summit that will be held August 9th at the Campbell Community Center from, I believe it's 9 to 3. The other co-sponsors are Joint Venture Silicon Valley and the League of Cities. And we're going to be sitting on a panel on nature-based climate solutions. Then I wanted to mention that on August 5th, you may be aware it's National Night Out. Last couple of years, we've been staffing tables and booths. Gavin, our volunteer coordinator, will be sending this out to the board and to the CAC for their meeting next Monday night. But we have 8 sites that we're going to be staffing. And we're trying to make it easy as possible. If you board members want to show up and press the flesh and just say hello, it won't be too hard on you, but there'll be opportunities if you want to do that evening. And then, do one of you want to touch on the grant award? Yeah. We just got this week.
The federal, news, yes. I can do it real quick. Backing up, just want to assure you that from what we've heard, the other federal grant that's via HUD for the Coyote Valley Open Space Preserve, the 800,000, we've been told that one was never on pause, so it will come in. We're moving ahead with the project as is. But the exciting news, our second grant, you might remember, we have a $250,000 grant that we were awarded. It's FEMA money administered by Cal OES. It was put on pause while they reviewed all grants that have been awarded. We just heard this week it was approved. We're back on track with the green light to spend. So very excited to move forward with that.
Lee, you had a couple of announcements.
I do. Thank you, Andrea. Just to let you know, sorry, I should slow down and back up. I think your jet lag is losing this. All right, good evening again, directors. Lee Rauscher, Assistant General Manager. Staff is busy at work developing the agenda for your board's retreat on September the 8th. More information to come, details for the agenda. Probably ask you to do a little bit of homework ahead of time. I'm just giving you a heads up now. But we'll have that information out to you soon. And then channeling my inner Elizabeth, since she is out right now, want to share that we've posted an opportunity for a seasonal outreach aide. So this is a temporary position up to 1,000 hours. An email was sent out from Aline Harris, or I think earlier this week. Always appreciate it if you share it with your networks. This person will help us, help represent us in booths in our busy season here in the fall, and support and encourage our other volunteers. And that's what I have. Megan, did you have anything you want to share?
Just our grannies.
Hey, Charlotte.
Good evening, directors. Charlotte Graham, Public Information Manager here at the Open Space Authority. Some of you may have seen, our South County field staff have installed a really beautiful placemaking sign for the Coyote Valley Conservation Program area. It looks just like this. Little sticker that we'll pass around. It's on Santa Teresa and Palm Avenue. That was designed by our multimedia communications specialist, Anne Marie Poulon. So once we finish up the permitting process, another sign is gonna be placed up on right outside Laguna Seca. So kind of creating these nicely branded bookends in Coyote Valley. And then also coming up in August, the communications team is working with South County field staff to replace some existing Don't Trash Coyote Valley signage. So those are located on Bailey and Santa Teresa. And they're gonna feature a variety of wildlife found in Coyote Valley, and they're gonna have messaging about don't trash Coyote Valley, but also slow down and watch for wildlife. So we're really excited about those as well. And then I'm also excited about some new giveaways. In front of you, you should see some safety whistles. Those were inspired by a CAC member. That was a suggestion that came out of the CAC. And we also have some other new stickers, which are available up at the front near the sign-in, one for each open space preserve. So those are going to be available during all of our outreach tabling opportunities. Thank you.
Thanks, Madam Chair. That's it.
Okay. Legal counsel,
Madam Chair.
okay, board member reports. We'll start at this end, Director Gill.
Okay, so. Director Sutherland is going to somewhere, I don't know, she's not available for the CAC next meeting. And as a alternative liaison, I'm going to be attend that Monday. It's Monday, right? CAC meeting. So I will be bring back whatever the business they are going to do that one. I will report to the board next meeting.
No report. No report.
Just want to share, and you probably already know this, I just returned from England on Tuesday, being there for 2 weeks. And we stayed in a small town in Yorkshire called Swaldale. And I found out through my cousins we did a comprehensive driving tour, that it was an old mining town, and they are actually going back and removing some of the sediment. They're putting up berms. You can see the areas where it used to be, they've got berms. And they're I won't say reoaking, but they are planting new trees to go back in there, because if you ever been to Yorkshire, you come over and it's very bare terrain. And then you come down into the valley and you can see that's where the river is, and the trees are all along the riparian corridor, but not along the hillside. A lot of sheep, but not trees. So they're doing that, and they are also doing a project in the town where they live in. They showed me an area where it's a flood zone that they are putting trees in to help maintain the ground so that they don't lose water. So there are efforts on climate in areas, in parts of England, that was very interesting to see. That's my report.
I just wanted to let everybody know that the leadership that Andrea and her staff have done with Ellis Power and PG&E is really phenomenal. And that when big projects like this come forward, if somebody doesn't step up and take ownership of it, you're not going to have the best outcome. So I wanted to say thank you to Andrea and her staff for leading on this effort, because it really does make a difference. And then I also did a tour with Nick and Director Matthews a couple of days ago, Coyote Valley. I'll let her talk about it. It was awesome.
Well, I have three things to report. One is my regret at missing a tour of the Alviso Adobe, which is very close, which is in the district I represent. So it was due to my own technical incapacities that I missed it, but I hope it'll come around again because I've always wanted to see the Alviso Adobe that's there at the base of Sierra Vista. I took a deep dive and then I went onboarding with Director Sutherland. The deep dive was budget, which was very helpful to me as I continue to put all the pieces of this 1,000-piece puzzle together. And very helpful in understanding the budget. So thank you to Lee and to Justina. And then, as Director Sutherland said, we onboarded for a tour of Coyote Valley. And I won't repeat all the wonderful things I heard about Coyote Valley, but it helps so very much to be there in the flesh, to trudge through the trails, to look at the fantastic vistas. It just filled in so many pieces for me that I've been reading, but not experiencing. So it was really wonderful. So I thank you for that. And I thank Nick Perry. He was a wonderful tour guide for that. So it was great.
My arm was finally recovered from all the waving I did. What I learned is observing the parade and everything like that. I could always tell when people know of us or heard of us because, hey, Open Space Authority, go forth. And unfortunately, there were some people who had no idea who we were. And next time, have a sign on both sides of the truck because I've more than once I say, "Are you guys county parks?" As we went through, so we're doing great. A lot of people know who we are. There's a lot of them out there. Well, for a town of about 40,000, apparently the head count was around 50,000 at that parade.
Chair, before you adjourn, there's just one other, and maybe Vicky, this might be something you want to jump on. This was just the last couple weeks, Helen, while you were on vacation in England, got a very exciting announcement about our former CAC member, Gloria Chun Hu.
Yes, I meant to say that, and it, but Gloria, who is absolutely wonderful and has been involved with the League of Women Voters very extensively and very involved with the local San Jose Santa Clara League, and then remained involved with them, although to a lesser extent because she's been working at the state level, and she just became president of the League of Women Voters for California.
Wow.
So
Wow.
really big to have someone from our area to have her doing that. She is absolutely wonderful.
Great news. Okay, with all those updates, we'll now formally adjourn the meeting.